Hi everybody, I'm Steve Stevens and I'm from Intelligo Networks and I'm his Chief Architect, and today I'm going to talk about something that I've been really loving working with, Dell. I want to choke on that. I never thought that I would be saying that I was going to be happy and enjoying working with Dell. And back in the day, Dell was the cheap stuff. Dell was a little bit above D-Link and Netgear, and I never really would have thought of it. I used to use their Power Connect every now and then when I had to, in a government or a corporate job, but in the service provider and high-end enterprise and scalability, we just didn't use them. It's not that we didn't like them, they just didn't conform to our philosophy of, hardcore service provider capable equipment. We needed really strong stuff, so we didn't really, use anything apart from the big boys, Cisco, Juniper, Brocade, Arista. They're the people we stuck with. But here I am, talking about Dell. And actually really happily talking about Dell. I love their equipment. They're not the only guys I love these days, but they are something that I've been playing with, and my guys have been playing with, and we've been really enjoying. What we've got here is the Open Networking series of Dells. We have a couple of different models, and they are absolutely beautiful. Here on the bottom, we have what we call the 4048 ON series. What that is 48 ports of 10 gig and 6 ports of 40 gig. That is a kick-ass switch. That switch comes in at under 10K bare metal, meaning no operating system. So you have to then go and buy your operating system on top. Now that's the best part about the open networking world. These switches support half a dozen different operating systems. You've got Cumulus, you've got Dell's own OS 10 or OS 9 as well, but OS 10, their new version coming. They support Junos. They're going to be supporting a version of Cisco iOS that has to come soon. There is a whole bunch of different cloud type of operating systems that do a variety of different purpose things, SDN platforms. These are beautiful open networking switches. I love them. These ones are terabit capable, and there's not much bad to say about them. They are beautiful. They work smooth. They support VXLAN. I don't know what else to say, but they are absolutely amazing, and I've really loved working with them. Check out what we've got on top. This is a Dell Z9100ON. Might just look like 32 ports of QSFP, but actually they're QSFP 128s. They're actually not that at all. These are multi-rate ports, which means they take all QSFP versions, but they take 10 gig, 25 gig, the new standard, 40 gig classic, 50 gig new standard, and 100 gig optics. 32 100 gig ports in 1RU. And how much today? If you buy it today, we'll throw in some steak knives. No. Less than 20K. The Cisco Juniper Brocade equivalent of this is ridiculous. Those switches are over $100,000 for this many ports. But that's not all. The best thing about these switches, or actually any 40 gig switches, so if you had a full 40 gig version of these, the 6000 series, same, you can break down these 32 100 gig ports, multi-rate ports, let's say they're just 40, into 4 by 10 gig ports connections per port. 128 10 gig ports per chassis. This is a 6.4 terabit non-blocking switch. It is just a dream. That is a Dell switch. Now, is it a Dell switch? It's the best thing about open networking. If you're running one of these babies, and you're running Junos on it, even Cisco iOS on it, is it a Dell switch? It's Dell hardware, but your operators back in the network operations center or in your IT, enterprise offices aren't going to know what's sitting in the data center. They'll just think that's a Cisco. a Juniper. They won't know. The best thing about this is that it is so scalable. The density is absolutely massive. If you can think about that, 128 ports of 10 gig per 1 RU, 10 of them, 1,280. Let's talk about 40 in a 1 RU rack, 47 RU rack. Thousands. It's over 4,000 10 gig ports. And given that these are actually 100 gigs, and if you want to do the optics, you can go to full 4 times 25 gig. Massive. They also split out to be 50s as well, I believe. Now check out this. A switch is getting fast when the two management ports are SFP plus 10 gig. Right? That's the management ports. These are an absolutely beautiful things. They might actually be the management ports, but hey, I'll use them as management. It's probably up there. I like the idea of plugging my laptop in at 10 gig and having be a management port. And in fact, you could actually use it for something like that. Offload collection of interception capabilities, monitoring data, net flow, a variety of things like that. So, I don't know. I seem to touch this switch a lot. Keep that later. But anyway, Dell has been great. Now, they're not the only ones I love. HP have got the Alto lines, which are pretty sexy. Mellanox have got some great stuff coming in the Ethernet world, some pretty impressive things. And they're not going to be the only people. But Dell has set the standard. One of the reasons that Inteligo Networks has decided to work with Dell is that in Australia especially, they've got teams that specialized in learning all the open networking operating systems. They've got good supply chain. They're a multi-billion dollar company, which means that they're stable. They've got good distribution in Australia. Love working with Avnet. Those guys are great. I love the fact that Dell is a massive company. Yeah, sure. Will you be able to go and get some of the Taiwanese products a bit cheaper? Maybe. But with Dell, HP, and some of the other big boys, the infrastructure, the supply chain is massive. Does mean you've got to deal with a bit of bureaucracy and partner rules and everything else like that. Does mean it takes longer for some things to happen. But it also means you end up with beautiful equipment that you get to work with, right? And I don't know if I've got anything to complain. I can't even think of anything that my guys have had to complain about. These devices have been an absolute blessing. We've loved running Cumulus. Hashtag turtle love. Loved working with Cumulus. These guys have been great. It's actually been a fantastic partnership with Cumulus and Dell, and I look at bringing that forward to bringing that partnership with Cumulus and HP, Cumulus and Mellanox, and other people over time. One of the things I always say to people, I might be here talking about Dell, but actually, I don't care about Dell. Don't care about Cisco, don't care about Juniper, don't care about Mellanox, anybody else. I am not vendor loyal. One of the interesting things here that I've been teaching my staff for a long time, we are product loyal. You make a great device and we will love it. Juniper, SRXs, just love them. I'm not a fan of the ASAs. Juniper, MX80s, one of my favorite Metro Ethernet platforms ever. Cisco, ASR 9Ks, absolutely stunning bits of equipment. What else is out there? The Dell. This Dell particularly, it was one of the first to market, the Z9100ON. I've got a particular affection for that. I don't roll out a lot of them because customers actually don't understand needing that much speed or that much density in this cloudified world. But I try to push them towards it because they're great switches. But these are one of the most common ones we're rolling out, that in the 6000 series. We love rolling those out. But this is beautiful. Again, I am product loyal, not vendor loyal. You want us to be loyal to you, you make a great product. Dell here have made there's 4000 series, 6000 series, and this 9000 series. And they've got more to come. I know a little bit of their roadmap. They've got some great stuff coming. In the open networking world, there is going to be a lot of things hitting the market. Now, Dell and the others and HP are going to have to keep on their toes. You give me good switches, good routers, and I will love you forever. Just make it easier to work with, and that's the way that we do business. I do not sell vendor products. I help customers find the solution that they need with the best products, best of breed products on the market today. And the best thing about this solution is that I can have a Dell sitting next to a Cisco, sitting next to a Juniper, or a Mellanox or something else. And in the next short period of time, they could all be running Cumulus or all running Junos or Cisco. That's the best thing about this. The disaggregation of the operating system to the hardware is making, this is why Dell has had a rise in this industry. networking is going to make a comeback if they make some great hardware. I think they're going to be the two battlegrounds. HP are so big, Dell are so big, that I believe Cisco, Brocade, Juniper are going to have serious, serious trouble keeping up. This is why I predict that Juniper and Cisco and most of those other major companies, when they go virtual, and they are, a lot of virtualization, the Cisco CSR, the VSA, the Juniper's VSRX, and everything else like that, 90% of their revenue is going to be driven by licensing, not hardware. They're going to become mostly software companies because of things like this. Cisco cannot keep up. This is like having a Rolls Royce experience, i.e. Cisco or Juniper, in another Holden Hyundai chassis, but you don't even know the difference. I mean, it's not that hard to make a switch. It's just hardware, the operating system, the brains. That's what's matter. That's what matters. The features, what you can do with it. Now, personally at the moment, Dell, Cumulus, my favorite combination. Sure, we run Junos up on these, bit spooky, but whatever happens, it's great. But right now, loving Cumulus. Okay guys, Keith Stevens from Intelligent Networks, talking about open networking and especially these beautiful Dell switches. Talk to you soon.